Now, you tell us, on a scale of 10, how would you rate yourself as far as today's interview is concerned?
I would rate 7, sir.
Good. I think you answered all the questions very smartly and intelligently. There was not even a single question which you were unable to answer. So keep it up. Best wishes for you.
So may I come in? Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
So my name is Swati Walia.
Okay. Introduce yourself.
So as I told, my name is Swati Walia. One graduation and post-graduation under HP University Shimla, in which I was awarded gold medal. Post which I worked myself and then prepared for the civil services examination. Last year, I also qualified for the Hpas 2023 interview stage.
Okay, you have done masters in botany.
Yes.
Okay, what was your specialization during MSc?
Sir, I have taken botany as my specialization subject in masters. And as botany is the studies of plants, so we study plants in depth. For example, sir, plants are of different varieties. We have algae, we have bryophytes, we have pteridophytes as well. So we study all of them. Along with that, gymnosperms and angiosperms.
Okay. In your hobbies, you have mentioned reading self-help books. Tell us something about these books, and tell us about one book which has influenced you the most.
So regarding your first question, self-help books are those books which help you in evolving your personality overall.
Give us the example of any book.
So last book was 7 Habits of Most Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, and it was a wonderful book which I past few days. So the 5 takeaways which I got from that book, for example, first is proactive approach. One must have proactive approach so that one can overcome challenges whichever he or she faces in his or her life. Second is your approach should be relaxing and calming so that you can face or challenging circumstance in every situation. Third is your learning habit. You must have that kind of attitude that you are learning in each and every stage of your life, because learning will never stop. And the fourth, I noticed, was the most effective which I found, that you must have that hammering approach, so that you just put your hammer on the head exactly. Your goal is your end, and you just take that vision towards the end. That's all, sir. Thank you.
So there is an idiom also to hit the nail on the head.
Yes, sir.
I think it's the same. If you want to get something, you have to hit the nail on the head. Okay. In order to keep yourself cool and calm and poised, you are reading books only, or you are employing certain other techniques also?
So simultaneously, I'm following certain techniques as well. I used to follow meditation in my morning and in my evening routine as well. Along with that, sir, I used to play badminton.
So badminton is a sport, okay. In order to keep your body fit, you are playing badminton. In order to keep your mind fit, you are using meditation. Okay. Tell us something about meditation. Which technique you are using? Have you read anything about meditation?
Sir, I've learned meditation in past 5 years. So the initial stage which I started with was the breathing technique. And then I followed the most vision technique, sir. So recently I'm following the vision technique, in which I'm just visioning of my calm and evolving personality with overtime, which I actually gained a lot.
What I mean to say is the technique which you are following, these have been propounded by somebody. You can name the person.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not following any person, sir. I'm just following my consciousness and then moving ahead.
Okay. What is vision and what is aim and what is motive?
So, vision is a long-term vision which you are having in your mind for your overall life. And aim is a specific thing which you are having in immediate life, sir. And motive is, sir, the purpose to doing certain thing.
Okay. What is in situ and ex situ conservation?
So, in situ conservations are those conservations which are taking place particularly in that place in which the natural environment, a particular species or variety is having. And ex situ, for example, is those circumstances in which we are placing out that species from their original environment and we are placing those species in an artificial environment. For example, botanical gardens. And in situ will exemplify national parks and wildlife sanctuaries.
Okay. Poultry farm, which category does it come?
Poultry farms are...
Our breeding center, you can say.
Yes, so these are ex situs.
Okay. Recently, Indian government, it shifted certain cheetahs from some other countries, from African countries. And, what went wrong with those cheetahs, Are you aware of this fact?
So I have heard and I have learned as well. So as per my limited knowledge, the thing, cheetahs have different breeding habits and different lifestyle. Different environment. As they are the fastest moving animals on the earth, so they need a very large and huge grasslands. When we shifted African cheetahs from Africa to India in the Kuno National Park, as far as I can recall, so in Kuno National Park, they got certain atmosphere challenges as well. Along with that, their breeding issues faced with the female cheetahs as well, which I learned. Rest, I don't know, sir.
Okay, what do you understand by the term biodiversity? Tell us some of the biodiversity hotspots.
So biodiversity is a study of plants in an environment or in our surroundings. And for example, it can be of any type. It can be plants, herbs or shrubs or trees or any kind of huge forest. An example of hotspots are Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats as well. Along with that, sir, our Sundarbans in West Bengal are hotspots because India, all over the Indian continent, has one of the 4 major hotspots of the world. As in world, we have total 34 hotspots. So in India, in the Indian subcontinent, we have 4.
No, as far as the ecology of the Western Ghats is concerned, we know that it's very fragile. At the same time, a large-scale mining is taking place and so much construction is going on. We have the example of Wayanad, what happened last year. Large-scale devastation and destruction took place. So what do you want to say about that?
Sir, development is good. I believe development must be sustainable. It must be in the coherence with the environment. So in the Western Ghats, the issues are, sir, large-scale mining, and due to which landslides problem became the trauma situation over there, as we have seen in the Wayanad, as you mentioned as well. So I believe, sir, the large-scale construction in the hilly regions, especially in the biodiversity regions, must be immediately stopped because development in those regions is not sustainable, and alongside, sir, it is very damaging for the environment for the long terms. And also, India is one of the signatory of National Determined Contribution challenges. So we have to consider all those things in our mind, and we have to immediately stop unsustainable developments in Western Ghats.
The mining is going on unchecked,
Yes, sir. So mining must be stopped with the proper checkpoints, because if it is going unchecked, that means there are certain loopholes which have to be taken care of, sir.
Tell us something about joint forestry management.
So joint forestry management, as now good knowledge. So these are the management in which both public and private partnerships are involved, and they are taking care of the biodiversity of the region.
How can we use nanotechnology in forestry?
So nanotechnology is a very growing and very easy technology. And in growing biodiversity, sir, we can use nanotechnology by using the genomes. We can preserve those genomes for the long term, as done in our Norway bank. We have preserved some seeds over there.
Okay, tell us something about aquaponics.
Aquaponics are, sir, we are growing the plants in water medium without using the soil mediums.
Without using the
soil, yes. And we are just the nutrients in the water medium only, and we are growing plants as well as species, for example, fish and other aquatic animals.
Can you tell us the name of any country, which is using this aquaponics on a larger scale presently? I mean, in the last couple of years.
So I can only guess. Maybe Japan or China.
It started in China, but now it's being used at a larger scale in North America, and the second number is Canada. Okay. What is the importance of science and technology in nation building?
So science and technology has a major role in nation building, I believe. As recently we have seen that ISRO is growing on a large scale and it has built our global prestige as well. So first thing, it is building our prestige on national level, on global level. Second, sir, it helps in the further developments. For example, in communication, in surveillance in defense sector. In third, in biodiversity, in checking of disasters as well. So science and technology playing a very major role in every sector of the development. So India is taking benefit of science and technology as well. And ISRO especially and DRDO is playing a huge role in it, sir.
Normally, it is sky is the limit, but for ISRO, sky is not the limit. Okay, my last question is role of women in nation building.
So as our India constitutes around half of the population of women in nation building. So women is playing a very major role, sir. In every sector, we are seeing women are excelling. For example, in sports as well, in education, in defense. As in recent years, sir, Army has also permanent the Commission of Women. So they are actually admitting that women are playing the significant role in nation building. And women have that kind of sense of huge patience and perseverance. So yes, nation is taking help of all those attributes of women, sir.
We have the examples of Kalpana Chawla and Sunita Williams also.
Yes, sir. And we are, sir, playing a very good role in global scale as well. For example, ma'am Sunita Williams and Kalpana Chawla ma'am as well. So they have increased our prestige on global scale, sir.
You read books or you're written as a hobby? Yeah.
Yes.
Reading self-help books.
Yes, sir.
What are these self-help books?
So these are those kind of books which help you in evolving your attributes which are necessary for an effective life.
Not fiction. They're basically developing your personality.
Sir, I read those books which enhance my knowledge regarding my personality because in past I have faced certain issues regarding my confidence. So I followed those books which help me in building my confidence. So I prefer self-help books.
You did your botany MSc in 2015, no?
Yes, sir.
And what have you been doing now after that?
So I was in a continuous preparation of UPSC. Along with that, sir, for some time, for 1 or 2 years, I have done work with my friend in a startup, sir. So it was kind of a dhoop making startup. So I worked for 1 to 2 years, sir. And then I shifted.
What is this startup?
So it is actually, you are making dhoop without polluting the atmosphere because as dhoop and incense.
Incense.
Yes, sir, incense. So as we are seeing that nowadays the dhoops are polluting the atmosphere and it is a recent survey as well. So we are trying to forming a dhoop which is not very pollutant, simultaneously have a good experience.
In Chandigarh, there is an NGO which is making dhoop out of flowers, which are collected from different temples. All the flowers, all the garlands, they are collected from the different temples, and then incense is made. One NGO is working on that also. It's in Chandigarh.
In the reference column, you have mentioned one gentleman in Delhi and other in Chitgaon.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so how is this? Why you have mentioned these two people? One, this Suresh Kumar, son of Shamsher Singh.
So he is my mentor during my preparation. I mentioned that person.
Who? Mr. Suresh Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he is also based in Delhi?
So he is from Shimla and he is currently in Chandigarh, sir.
Okay, you take the help in...
So I took mentoring from sir and he helped me a lot in every stage of my examination. Because it is prelims means...
What kind of help?
Sir, I was very weak in objective solving questions. So he helped in that. In mains, sir, I was big...
Written exams?
In prelims, sir, in helping solving objective questions. How to approach those questions.
Prelims?
Yes, sir, in prelims. In mains, sir, as mains is a very analytical stage. So we have to build that analytical skill. So he helps me in building that skill, sir.
These... the last 2 years, what had you been, 22, 24? You have not mentioned that you are now in Delhi?
Yes, sir. So I shifted from Delhi now. I was last in 2022. And then I got some injury in my back. Then I came back to home and then I prepared for the exams again. I took a break of 2 years. Yes.
There is now, coming to the current affairs, what is, these days we have farmer agitation going on.
Yes.
And there's the talk of minimum support price.
Yes.
So can you talk about it?
So farmers are recently agitating for their needs of minimum support price. So I believe, sir, a farmer has the right to protest, but the protest must be, sir, very peaceful and it must not hamper the civils or the public, basic public. As farmers are the producers of our nation, we really accept that and we believe that their rights must be protected. But MSP is a thing, sir, government is already providing under MS Swaminathan recommendation. But their demand is much above that, sir. So peaceful dialogue, I believe that a peaceful dialogue is required.
Where is the mismatch between the government and the farmer?
So they want MSP to be legalized, sir. And it is not under any act right now in India.
What is the government take on that one?
So government is saying that MSP can't be legalized as they are already providing MSP on large scale for 23 crops and 1 sugarcane crop. So as per government, it cannot be legalized now.
Why? What is the logic government is giving for not legalizing the?
So as per my limited knowledge is concerned, they are giving the limited revenue resources might be the challenge. Rest, I don't know, sir.
We see the newspapers, every day. There's a lot of, violence going on in the society. You see the firing taking place in schools, in the open market about individuals, and all across the globe. In the US, you find schools, students are fired at, business places. There's a firing taking place, and so on and so forth. I mean, all over. So, what do you think is the why it happening? What has happened to the society?
So I believe the tolerance level has reduced very much.
Or is it only tolerance or something?
Tolerance level, and along with that, sir, the politicization of everything. For example, the religion and caste is doing on the large scale at global level as well. For example, in North America, if we see the continent and the countries like Canada and America, as they are the capitalist countries, but still they are supporting particular kind of religion, and it is harming the interest of another nation as well. For example, in Canada's case, India's sentiments are hurt as they are supporting the Khalistan group, which as per Indian government is a terrorist group. So I believe, sir, the interests and the tolerance level of the interests of every nation are somewhere clashing, and that's why, sir, it is becoming a major problem for every nation and around the global level.
Are there some incidents where the racists are also involved?
Sir, in India, sir, we have seen the incidents of shooting at Indian students, and in Muslims in Europe country, in UK especially, we have seen that all of a sudden a teenager has entered a kindergarten and he shooted 3-4 children, those who were in kindergarten. So these were, as per the news, those were the racist incidents. So I believe, yes, race is somewhere very prominent in European nation as well. They consider their race very superior.
Okay. There used to be some organization called Ku Klux Klan. Have you heard about it?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
And what about these fundamentalists? What are they doing, like in Syria, in Lebanon, and and some part in Myanmar and other places? There's also a lot of violence taking place in the name of religion, in the name of the sect. Are you aware?
Yes, I am aware. Sir, as per their ideology, fundamentalists are actually playing their role to revive their religion. But I believe, sir, fundamentalism...
The religion is already there, no?
Sir, as in case of West Asia, like Syria, Lebanon, and Iran. So we are seeing that Hamas and Hezbollah groups are working, which somewhere they are reflecting that they are, reviving their fundamentalist religion of Islam. So, but I believe, sir, religion is something which has no relation with the fundamentalist approach, sir. Religion are somewhere very liberal in their approach. And if they are becoming fundamentalist and radicalist, so they are becoming danger for the society, sir. As we have seen in the case of Myanmar, where Rakhine groups, Rohingyas have faced the challenges, and army has, done the coup, and Bangladesh as well is heading towards the same thing, where Hindu minorities are suffering. So religion is actually politicizing, and for me, religion has lost its essence in those countries than actually religion must be. It is becoming more politicized and more radicalized due to their petty interests, sir, and nothing else. So they, for example, in West Asia, Russian and America are playing their role to serve their interest. They are using their grounds. For example, in Syria, Assad government was favored by Russia, and simultaneously as Russia and US are on loggerheads, so they play against each other and they have spoiled that land, sir. So Syria is totally vanished now.
So I'm curious, you said that you are reading self-help books. Yes. What other books have you read?
Atomic Habits by James. I'm forgetting his
Can you name the titles of the books?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Have you read I'm Okay, You Are Okay?
No, ma'am. I have heard, but I never read.
You haven't read. You are in service and there is a project in the health department. You have to choose a leader. What qualities you will look for in the person?
Ma'am, any service specifically mentioned or overall service?
No, for the health, say child health.
Child health. Ma'am, the qualities which I will like to prefer first would be perseverance and deterministic approach. Second must be problem solving approach should be there. As a child and health department is a department which needs to be dealt with a very patience and problem solving approach, as every day we will have certain challenge in that department. So we must have problem solving approach. Third must be how to use the present resources wisely. You should have that skill to use the optimum use of that resources which are currently you are having. And fourth, team spirit must be there, because without team you cannot work in a department. You must have the support of your team as well. And fifth, I believe you must have efficient communication skills so that you can communicate your decisions and you can communicate with your teams effectively. That's it, ma'am.
What are the 5 habits to keep the environment clean, which you can teach to the people?
First, ma'am, which I would like to teach to the people, that one must take their responsibility of environment, that we are the part of environment and we have to clean it as at our own.
And that is one thing. That is very...
And second, if one must grow plants at their own individual level, it will play a major role. It will effectively help in the environment building in a sustainable manner. Third, I will recommend that use of garbage bins wisely. As we have seen that, yes, we have dustbins all around the surrounding, but their use is not very effective. I have seen that people are not effectively using the dustbins, so one must use the garbage bins effectively. Fourth, if we have to keep our environment clean, the use of pollution creating materials, for example, diesel and petrol, must be somehow limited, and the shift towards the renewable sources, for example, solar energy, wind energy, along with that CNG, use of CNG in vehicles must be promoted. And last one, I would like to recommend the major role played by the government. Like if currently government is providing subsidy for electric vehicles, so it's a good step, I believe. And so the next thing must be from the government side is a reach of electric stations at a 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer distance, so that the charging of electric vehicles should be taken place effectively. That's it. Thank you.
You are from Kangra. Can you name the famous folk dance of Kangra?
Jhumakda is a folk dance of Kangra, which is very famous. Aware of Jhumakda?
Okay, there are so many forts in Rajasthan, Delhi, and these forts are attracting tourism from across the nation and internationally. But forts in Himachal Pradesh, like Kangra Fort, why it is not attracting that much tourist? So why it is not famous among tourists? So what would you suggest to make this spot very famous among tourists?
So as we have seen that in that forts all around the India, for example in Delhi, they are surrounded by the exact facilities which a tourist can get. But in Kangra Fort, we can see the efficient facilities are not there. I myself have visited the Kangra Fort. Now they are developing the facilities. And second thing, sir, which I noticed, it is not very famous in the social media platforms. For example, Red Fort we know Fatehpur Sikri as well. But we don't know about the Kangra Fort on the Facebook or Instagrams. We must have to provide that platform to those forts in our Himachal so that they must, every people must be aware of that, yes, Himachal also has that kind of fort which was somewhere in the history was impregnable fort. Because Kangra Fort was considered as impregnable fort even by Mughal rulers, even by Muslim rulers. So yes, we have a very, effective history in our past.
Okay. Yes. Now, again, Himachal Pradesh is facing economic challenges.
Yes.
So, what are the reasons behind the challenges, and what we need to do at this point of time to deal with this problem?
So, regarding your first question, the reason, so there are a few structural, economic, or environmental reasons. So, first reason is high debt to GSTP ratio, sir. Himachal is second state after Punjab, which has around 42.6% of debt to GSTP ratio, which is very huge for a state like Himachal Pradesh, as it is a very small state. Second thing, sir, the Himachal is very prone to natural disasters. And as we have seen in 2023, a large-scale huge disaster happened. But this disaster which took place, it has vanished actually the developmental things which took place in the past, for which Himachal has taken a lot of loans from the development organization, for example, World Bank and ADB, Asian Development Bank. So that all has vanished, and due to which it has created a huge revenue burden on the HP governments. So I would suggest that Himachal must diversify its tourism spots. For example, we are completely relied on the tour and travels tourism. We must promote health tourism. We must promote the mic tourism, which is for affecting film industries and for meetings and all that. Health tourism as well. Along with that, sir, the Himachal is very much dependent on center grant. Beside that, sir, I believe we must, simultaneously promote the MSMEs and public-private partnerships so that we can generate that private industries in our Himachal, and so that the employment, which is currently 56% of public employment currently in Himachal Pradesh, which is an administrative cost, high administrative cost. So we must promote that private sector as well simultaneously so that people shifted towards private sector as well.
So this year, Nobel Prize winners are linked with artificial intelligence. Do you have any idea?
Yes, sir. I heard about artificial intelligence, sir.
Okay, tell something about.
So artificial intelligence is actually using the intelligence in an artificial manner in which human is not using their mind, but machine in which we have inserted certain kinds of technology which is working as per human. So it is not basically humans, but machine is doing, or machine is working like human beings, sir. So it is basically artificial intelligence in which machine learning or something data analytics.
Okay, what could be the new opportunities we can harness from this artificial intelligence in Himachal Pradesh in economy level as well as employment?
So economically, sir, artificial intelligence can increase our revenue by decreasing the paper cutting cost, by decreasing the efficient administrative cost, because as artificial intelligence are very efficient compared to human beings, as the recent survey noticed. So we can use that efficiency in our administrative scale for fasten the process of our offices or of our government offices, and simultaneously, sir, if environment we have to use, then we can diagnose those disasters which are about to happen in the Himachal Pradesh. We can easily, sir, identify those with the help of
Okay,
artificial
my
intelligence.
last question is there is a neighborhood first for India as per PM Modi approach. Do you think that this policy is a successful story for India or having some challenges?
Sir, I believe it is a mixed bag. There are certain pros and there are certain cons in this neighborhood first policy. For example, sir, if we see for Bangladesh, we have a very good relation with Bangladesh until Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister, was there. But as we have seen the change of regime and we are facing the huge challenges over there. So, as I believe, sir, one can change the friends or enemies, but one cannot change the neighbors. So we have to, cooperate with our neighbors. Along with that, we have to put our self-interest first, because as India in the Indian subcontinent is a very strong nation. So I believe, yes, we are facing certain challenges, but somehow it is a very successful endeavor for Indian government, sir.
Okay.
So your mock interview is over. Now you tell us, on a scale of 10, how would you rate yourself as far as today's interview is concerned?
I would rate 7, sir.
Good. I think you answered all the questions very smartly and intelligently. There was not even a single question which you were unable to answer. So keep it up. Best wishes for you.